Today we will discuss about interference between two involute gears. So as we have discussed in our previous session that when the two gears are meshing, and if we can consider this gear as a pinion and the pinion is rotating in the clockwise direction, and let's say the center of rotation for the pinion is O1 and another gear is O2, which we call it as a gear wheel. This we call it as a gear wheel, and this gear we call it as a pinion. So pinion is driving gear and gear wheel is a driven gear in this case. So if you see this, which we have discussed earlier, that these are the two pitch circles, and when these two pitch circles are meeting at point, that point is known as pitch point, and you can find this line Mn. Mn is a line which you call it as a common tangent on the two base circles of the mating gears. So this is the common tangent on the base circles of the two mating gears. At the same time, you can see point K and L, these 2 points K and L. K is the engagement point, or we can say here the beginning of engagement, because when the gear starts turning in the clockwise direction, the first point of engagement comes at K and these two gears are meeting, or you can say the flank portion of the driving gear or the pinion is meeting with the face portion of the driven gear, that is gear wheel. So we can say the addendum circle, because this circle is the addendum circle of the gear wheel. This is the addendum circle. This is basically addendum circle of the gear wheel. So when the addendum circle of the gear wheel is meeting with the common tangent, so that point is known as beginning of engagement. Similarly, if you look at here, so this circle, this circle is the addendum circle of pinion. This is the addendum circle of the pinion. So when the addendum circle of the pinion intersects with the common tangent at L, so that is called end of engagement. So you can say the path of contact is KL. So I am writing here the path of contact in this case is given by KL, beginning of engagement to the end of engagement. So this we have discussed in our previous session. At the same time, you can find this line intersecting or meeting at M, and this line making an angle with the line of centers, or you can say line of action is making an angle with the common tangent. So this angle is also known as phi. So this angle is known as phi, or the pressure angle. So pressure angle, basically it is an angle between the line of action and the common tangent on the base circles. So this is the common tangent. I can say this is T. So this common tangent and line of action. The angle is pressure angle. Similarly, angle between two planes and their perpendicular. So this also become pressure angle phi. Now moving further, we are discussing here interference. So basically in this situation, if you can see, then the addendum circle radii is given by O to K. So this is the addendum circle radius of the gear wheel. Similarly, addendum circle radius of the pinion is O1L. So I can draw it by dotted line. This O1L is the addendum circle radius at present, right? So this O1L is the addendum circle radius which is there. Now I am erasing it. I have just explained to show you, but you see this addendum circle radius is at present the addendum circle radius, you can say. But interference occurs when the point L moves further. So let's say somebody thought about, okay, I can increase the addendum circle radius. Then the question arises, up to what extent you can do that. So let's see that here what is the possibility. So the possibility is we may increase addendum circle radius from O1L to O1N. Why it is O1N? Because N corresponds to the point of tangency between the base circle of the gear wheel and the common tangent. So you can increase addendum circle radius from O1L to O1N. But assume a situation, if you increase it further, then what happened? If you increase it further, then what happened? This point N will move inside the base circle of the gear wheel. And once it moves inside the base circle, then you can say the part of the gear profile which you can find inside the base circle will not be involute profile. Why? Because as we said, involute is a curve which is generated by a straight line which rolls without slipping on the circumference of a cylinder or a circle. So if any point which enters inside the base circle, then the tangency is lost and you cannot get that particular point as a involute profile point, or that part of the profile cannot be involute, right? So we can conclude that to avoid interference, we can have limiting value of addendum circle radius here is O1N. If I increase addendum circle radius beyond O1N, then I cannot get, again I am repeating, I cannot get involute profile, and if I cannot get involute profile, then it means I am not following this particular trajectory or law of gearing, so interference will occur. So what is interference? Let me give you one simple example. If you are moving on a straight highway and let's say the lane are decided that if you are moving at 100 km, go on this lane, 200 km per hour, then go on this lane. If you are switching the lane, if you are moving from one lane to other which is not supposed to be your, then you may get collided with some other vehicle. So that is what, अगर मैं अपनी लिमिट छोड़ के दूसरे के एरिया में घुसता हूं, then there is a chances of clashing, there is a chances of interference. So similarly here, if you can maintain the point of tangency, or if you can maintain the limiting points which are given here are N for the pinion, and if you consider for the gear wheel, so that point is M. So these are the limiting points to avoid interference. So if you can be there, or you can have maximum addendum circle radii for the pinion should not increase beyond O1N, and maximum addendum circle radii of the wheel should not increase beyond O2M, So there is no interference. So if I am moving in my lane, there is no problem. If I am switching the lane and I am not following the law, then there is a chances of clashes. So if addendum circle radius of the wheel increase beyond O2M, then there is a interference, and if the addendum circle radius of the pinion increase beyond O1N, this radius, then interference will occur. So as I said, interference occurs because when the two mating teeth are mating at certain points which is not at the point of tangency, or you can say this common tangent is not cut at the point of tangency. If this common tangent is cut inside the base circle, then it is not following the involute profile, and the part of the gear teeth which are meeting over there, they are not following the involute profile, therefore interference will occur. So in simple words, if somebody asks what is interference, then the answer is, if let's say there are two gears which are meshing and this gear has this tip and this tip supposed to met with the root of the mating gear. So if this tip meet with the mating gear and if this tip damages the root portion of the gear, then this is called interference. What I said? Root portion of the mating gear. So this is the root portion of the mating gear, and if it damages this root portion, then this is called interference. Similarly, if this is a gear wheel and the tip portion of the gear wheel is damaging or mating inside the base circle of the pinion, or the tip of the gear wheel is mating or damaging the root portion of the pinion, then it is called interference. So I hope you got the theme of the interference, that if any one of the tooth of the gear is trying to dig out, trying to penetrate inside the root portion of the mating gear, then it is called interference. So to avoid interference, there are you can say possibility. One is you can limit your addendum circle radius. Your addendum circle radius should not exceed beyond O1n for the pinion. Similarly, addendum circle radius of the gear wheel should not exceed beyond this point. So let's say I am joining these 2 points so that I can explain what do you mean by the addendum circle radius. So if addendum circle radius of the gear wheel is exceeded up to here, then you see the addendum circle will pass through this point. Addendum circle will pass through this point. So this is the addendum circle, and if the addendum circle radii is exceeded till here, then the another addendum circle for the pinion will pass through this. So this is the limiting condition, you can say. So I am joining these two also. So O1n is the maximum addendum circle radius of the pinion, right? And O2m is the maximum addendum circle radius for the gear wheel. So this is important as far as the limiting value is concerned. Another way, what we can say, initially you have path of contact equals to KL. Then path of contact can also be expressed in terms of avoiding the interference. How we can express path of contact? So if the addendum circle of the gear wheel exceeded beyond O2K and it reaches over here, so this becomes the initial engagement point, and for the pinion this becomes the last you can say point of disengagement. So in this case the path of contact changes from KL to Mn. So you can say the maximum path of contact which is possible is Mn. As far as the manufacturing of the gear is concerned, to avoid interference, what you can do the stubbing of the gear teeth Stubbing of the gear teeth means you can cut a small portion of the tip. So that is called stubbing. So if they stub the gear teeth, so that is one option. Another option is you can run a tool here at the flank portion. So you deliberately try to remove the material from here. You remove material from here. So if you remove material from the flank portion, then what happened? The mating gears will not, you can say, interfere with this. And the third possibility is, instead of stubbing the tooth, you can increase the center distance between the two gears. So as I have explained, by increasing the center distance between the gears, you can also lead to change the pressure angle, and pressure angle also gets increased. However, by increasing the center distance, these two gears which are interfering, now they will not interfere, because you see this tip of the tooth will not try to interfere with the root portion of the mating gear. So that is also one of the possibility by which you can avoid interference. Now we will try to understand how we can estimate minimum number of teeth for a pinion is required to avoid interference. So the idea is to calculate minimum number of teeth on the pinion to avoid interference. So for that, try to write down certain basic, you can say, parameters. So one is capital R. Capital R is called as a pitch circle radius. Pitch circle radius of the gear wheel. And you see, we have defined module is d by t, or you can say it is 2r by t. So we can say r equals to small m capital T by 2. So this is what pitch circle radius of the gear wheel. Similarly, small r is the pitch circle radius of the pinion. So this is again based on this understanding, where a small t is the number of teeth on the pinion. So again I am writing over here, capital T is the number of teeth on the gear wheel, whereas small t is the number of teeth on the pinion. So this you can write down. At the same time, we can here mention that M is nothing but module, right? Module of two mating gears, and as we said, for proper meshing, module must be same. And I have already said phi is the pressure angle. Right? Addendum constant. So let's say AP is the addendum constant for the pinion, right? And AW is the addendum constant. Everything is same, but instead of pinion it becomes gear wheel. So this is for gear wheel, right? AW, right? Now I can define addendum of the gear wheel. Addendum of the gear wheel. So addendum of the gear wheel would be defined by AW, that is the addendum constant of the gear wheel is AW AW multiplied by M, so it become addendum. And we have discussed addendum stands for radial depth between the pitch circle radii and the addendum circle radii. So that radial depth is known as addendum. So that is the addendum of the gear wheel, and then we can write addendum of the pinion, So that becomes AP multiplied by M. So now if you look at this triangle, and you know this angle is phi, and now to calculate minimum number of teeth, you can refer triangle O1PN. So if I refer triangle O1PN, and if I can apply cosine law for this triangle, so by applying cosine law I can calculate O1N. So O1N square, this square is equals to O1P square plus Pn square, O1P square plus Pn square minus 2 times of O1P into Pn into cos of this angle. So as you know, this angle is phi and this angle is 90 degree. Between this line, center distance line, and this line, this angle is 90 degree. So this total angle becomes 90 plus phi. So multiplied by cos of 90 plus phi. So that becomes the angle. Right. Now I can simplify this. O1N square, O1P is the pitch circle radii of the pinion. So pitch circle radii of the pinion plus Pn. So look at this Pn, and as you know, the radius of the gear wheel is capital R. Pitch circle radius means this radius is capital R. O2P is capital R. So if O2P is capital R, then this Pn becomes capital R sin phi. So again I am writing here, since O2P is capital R, therefore Pn becomes R sin phi. Pn, this one becomes R sin phi. So I can write here capital R sin phi square minus 2 times of O1P is nothing but small r, and this Pn is capital R sin phi, right? And what is this cos 90 plus phi? You all know cos 90 plus phi is minus sin phi. So this becomes the expression. Then if I can further simplify this, then this becomes r square plus capital R square sin square phi minus 2rr into sin square, and minus it become plus. Now I can take it out small r square common, then it become 1 plus capital R square small r square sin square phi plus 2r. So 1r get cancelled with r, then this become 2r by small r into sin square phi. So this becomes O1n square, right? O1n square. If I write O1n, then it become small r in bracket 1 plus, and if I take it out capital R by r common, right? Or you can say, let's say I can take it out capital R by small r common. So here it will left with capital R by r. At the same time I can also take it out sin square phi from this. So if I take it out sin square phi, so this raised to power 1 by 2. So this is what O1N. O1N is what? O1N is the maximum addendum circle radius which is possible without causing any damage, and you can ensure that the two mating gears are mating at the involute or mating at the tangency to the base circles, and their profile are involute profile, so there is no problem as far as the interference is concerned. So O1N equals to so and so. Now I can find out addendum with reference to this one. So to find out addendum, what I need to do, I have got the O1N value, and now I can find out addendum. So what is addendum? Just look at here. Addendum is nothing but, as I said, the radial difference between the pitch circle and addendum circle. So this is the radial difference. So this radial difference, addendum, as we have written, addendum for pinion is AP into M, and that becomes radial difference between these two. Radial difference between these two means O1N minus O1P. So O1N we have just estimated. So O1N is coming out this much plus capital R by R plus 2 sine square phi raised to power 1 by 2 and minus O1P. So what is O1P? O1P is small r. So this one is your O1N. O1N is this one, and O1P is your pitch circle radii. Now if we move further, and if we can define these terms in terms of gear ratio, then gear ratio G is defined as the number of teeth on the gear wheel to the number of teeth on the pinion. And as we know, this can also be written as a capital R by small r. Why it is written as a capital R by small r? Because we all know that module is D by T, or you can say module for the pinion is becomes MT by 2 as far as small r, and MT by 2 as far as capital R. So you can replace T, you can replace capital T as 2R by M, and small t you can replace by 2R by M. So this mm get cancelled, and you can say this is nothing but gear ratio can also be termed like this. So what you can do, you replace this capital R by small r by gear ratio. So if you can do that, then the equation becomes, like this. APM equals to, this R can also be written in terms of module. So this can be written as a MT by 2, and this can be written as a capital G plus 2 sine square phi 1 by 2, and instead of we have minus R, so this R can be written as a MT by 2. Now we can take out T by 2 common, then this T by 2 can be taken out, and in the bracket you will left with these terms 1 plus G plus 2 sine square phi raised to power 1 by 2 minus 1. So your minimum number of teeth, T minimum, becomes twice of AP divided by 1 plus G plus 2 sine square phi, right, raised to power 1 by 2 minus 1. So this is what the expression for minimum number of teeth on the involute pinion if you want to avoid the interference. Then the question arises, if the gear ratio is 1, then how we can write the minimum number of teeth? So substitute G equals to 1 in this. So once you do that, you will get minimum number of teeth in that case if the gear ratio is 1, 2AP 1 plus 3 sine square phi raised to power 1 by 2 and minus 1. About the interference part, from my side it is done, and now I am giving you one assignment. You need to do it at your home. Try to find out how much is the minimum number of teeth on the gear wheel you require if to avoid the interference. Again I am telling, I have calculated O1N. Now at your home you need to calculate O2M. Right? With this, thank you very much.